You might know at this point that I'm a big fan of the Firebase. If you don't know what it's Firebase, is a backend platform provided by Google, so you can use to build a web mobile app very fast. Okay, I have been creating some series of video to show you how you can connect your N8N automation with Firebase just to see how it works. But in this video, I'm gonna just build a use case scenario to show you how helpful it can be. So in this scenario, I'm gonna integrate the Firebase with my N8N automation to send a welcome email to all users who sign up for my application. Okay. So by the way, if you don't know me, my name is N8N Webhook. I'm a software engineer. I build web and custom mobile app, and also I build AI automation. Okay, so without a further conversation, I'm gonna just dive into this, how you can integrate your N8N with a Firebase to perform some very important action. Okay, so I hope this video is gonna be very interesting for you. But you know, if this video is not interesting for you, explore other video or join my Facebook community where we can discuss any type of the content related to your own interest. So let's just dive in, and I'm going to share my screen and walk you through this. Okay, so let's go to this screen, okay, that I have here. So basically what you see here, I have my N8N automation, just a development project that I have here. Okay, and one thing also that I have here is the Postman, which is platform that I use to test all my integration in the N8N. It's very helpful for me. But also I have my Firebase platform with a project that I have here. Okay, and then I'm gonna do this integration. Okay. So in this video, just the first thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start to create this automation, and then this automation, I'm gonna just call it Romivas, and then I'm gonna call communication. Actually, I can just remove Romiva, put it just email communication. So this is the workflow where I'm gonna put all the automation that's gonna handle the email communication. So the first one that I'm gonna put it, the first thing that I'm gonna create actually here, is going to be a webhook. Okay, and then why webhook? Webhook, it's going to be entry point that my service, let's say this service is going to be a backend service, is going to call when the user sign up, and then this webhook is going to handle that request. That's why I have a webhook, and I'm going to call this webhook, I'm going to call it email. Okay, because all it's going to do is receive a request to send an email. I'm going to call email. So then here I'm going to call email webhook. Okay. Okay. That's what it does. So it's going to be the type post, because when I call this webhook, what I want to do, I want to send some data. Okay. So then it's going to use that data to understand the context. In this case, it's going to receive a data related to the user that is going to send the email. So now we have our first entry point for this automation it's going to build. It's called email webhook. So let's test this. How can we test this? I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to come in here. I'm going to create this sign up email, because the first automation that we're going to send is the one that's gonna send sign up email. So then it's gonna send, it's gonna trigger, it's gonna call this webhook. It's gonna call with the post HTTP post request, because that's what I say here. Okay. And then one thing that it's very important is gonna send the data in a JSON format, and the data that it's gonna send, first thing, user ID, and then the action. I want to send the action to. Okay. The action, or what happened related to this user, is the sign up. So what does this mean? This user sign up in our application. So now I'm going to build an automation that's going to handle sign up. It's going to do something when the user sign up in our application. Okay. So now how I'm going to, let me save this first. I like to save. How am I going to test this? I'm going to just say this webhook that I just create is active, is listen to see if someone's going to call it. Okay, now what am I going to do? I'm going to click this. Look, it's a workflow has started. And then I'm going to come to the webhook. I'm gonna see if I got something. Look, I got the request. Okay, this is the header with all the information that come from the request. On the body, I got the user ID and I got the action, which is the sign up. Okay, this is really interesting. Okay, so look, I'm just building this to show you a use case, how it's very important to have an N8N help you handle some automation task with your application. But I like to build this like a production rate automation. So it's very important. So one thing that I can discuss with you here, so I can say here on the header, I want to send some type of authentication. Okay, I will say API key. And this API key, I'm going to say, for example, I'm going to say client ID. Okay, client ID, something like this. And then I can come in here and say generate API key. API key. Okay, I want to show you this thing because it's very important. It's very important. I'm just generate something here. Okay, copy, but you're gonna, because I meant to show you. Okay, it's very important when you open this endpoint, you're trying to add some security level there. If you see here on authentication, you can have a header type authentication, which is the API key, is a header type authentication. You can have a base type authentication, or you can have this one where you can create a credential, but this is a little bit more advanced. So we can go with a header type authentication, and then in this header type authentication, I can come in here and say, for example, Homivas, okay, API, and then here I can put a client ID, okay. And then I will come here. I can come here, okay, and copy this and put it here, okay. So now I can save it, okay. So this is one thing. It's okay you watch all of this because I'm gonna change it when I move to the production automation, and this automation is just for tests, okay. So this is very important that you understand the context that you are implement this, okay. So I hope you are following me so far, everything that I'm doing, okay? I create this automation, okay? So I added that authentication, I'm saving. So now I can click listen to it again, and then I can click send. So something is happening, okay? This is header, what's going on? Use the value via variable. Okay, that's okay. It's give me some, let me save this. And then let's go to the automation, it's listened. So now let me click again, okay. API key. Oh, no. This is not a header type authentication. Sorry, my mistake. I have to copy this, come to the header and put it here. And then the value, and then I can come and put it here. Okay. So now I can click send. Why it's not? Let's save it. Oh, actually, I have to look into this. So I'm going to debug this. Okay, the header, I have the client ID and I have this token. And then let me make sure I come in here. Let me remove this. Okay, nothing. Click save. Okay, so now let's stop. Let's stop. I'm going to refresh this. Let's make sure this is all good. Romivas. Okay, good. Client ID. Okay, is a header type authentication. So, okay. Let's see this is working. Okay, so let's listen again, and I'm gonna come here, send a request. Okay, involved character in header content. What is that? What is the problem? Oh, okay, something is wrong here. I saw what is the problem. So you have to make sure it doesn't have a new line of character. So now, let's go to the header, client key. Okay, so now it's good. So let's save it. Okay, so let's listen again. Okay, click send. Okay, it's worked. Okay, so let's just recap what was the problem. So there was a new line character on the header. That's why it was not working. So let's just recap. I create this node. I added some security level. Only user who is authenticate can consume this API. This is very important. Your API should not be open to anyone want to use it. You should have some security measure on this one. I'm using header authentication, and this is the header authentication client ID and this. So now this is good. Okay. So this is very important. So we have the first part, this email webhook endpoint that's going to receive a request to handle any event by your application. In this case, the event that we're going to handle is the sign up, okay? And then is the secure. Only authorized source can communicate with this endpoint, okay? So the next step I'm going to create, I'm going to show you how to handle a specific action by the user and then trigger the automation that should be handled that action. That's what I'm going to do in the next step. Okay, so in this video, it's kind of continuation, the series, the video that I have been talking about Firebase. If you don't know, Firebase is a powerful backend application provided by Google to help you build custom web and mobile app. I have been using Firebase for so many years, and it's been very helpful for me when it's come to build both mobile app or web application, okay? So I find out that you can integrate your N8N automation with a Firebase, and especially when it comes to automation, things that you want implement for your application, N8N with a Firebase is going to be very helpful. I created some video just to show you how connect both platform and give some example how you can retrieve data from the Firebase. But I thought that it will be very interesting to come up with the real use case scenario where this concept is going to apply and be more helpful as possible, okay? If you don't know me, my name is Justiniano Alves. I'm a software engineer. I build a web mobile app and also AI agent, okay? So without the further conversation, I'm just gonna dive very quick how you can use Firebase and N8N for your project, okay? I'm gonna share my screen with you where I'm gonna walk you through this use scenario where I'm going to handle all the automation communication that need to happen when the user sign up on my application, okay? So that's what I'm going to be doing here. Okay, so this is my N8N. I have this folder from my project, Romiva. I'm going to create the first automation workflow, and then this workflow I'm going to call email communication because that's what it's going to do. It's going to send email when a certain action happen on my platform, okay? In order for my platform to communicate with the N8N, I'm going to create this webhook that I'm going to expose my automation to my application. So this webhook, it's going to be handle all the email communication. So this is going to be email webhook, okay? And then, of course, it makes sense, this endpoint is going to be email. Okay, very easy. One thing that's going to be post because I'm going to be able to send some data. I want to be able to send some data when I trigger this automation. So it's going to have some context what to do, especially in the case that it's going to send, for example, a welcome email to the user that sign up on my platform. So you need to have a user information. Okay. Okay, so let's say I just create this, okay? One of the things that I do always when I'm working with the N8N, I'm always doing tests to test all the integration. I use Postman, which is another platform to test API. So I have this project here. So what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna just test this webhook that I create on N8N to see if it can be called by my application. And this one in particularly, I'm going to test the sign up, which is one of the first use case that I want to show you. And then it's going to be a type post, okay? And the URL that this webhook is going to be exposed is this one, okay? And then I'm going to put it here. Since it's a post and I'm just going to test to see if I can reach out. So basically, I'm just clicking listening. The webhook is active. I'm going to see if I can reach out my webhook. I just make a call. Look, workflow has started. So this is working. I can see that the request is come from the postman. Okay. Two things very important. I want to be able to send the body in the JSON format, which I'm gonna send the user information, in this case, user ID, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm gonna send the type of the action. I can put action type, okay? Which is basically this user, we need to execute this action. In this case, I can call, for example, sign up. Okay, so now I'm gonna test again. Oh, of course, I have to run, and I'm gonna test again and make sure this body, okay, is reach out to the AAN. Another thing that it's very important, you cannot build a webhook endpoint and just expose it to the public, because someone might try to use that not in a proper way. So now I'm going to implement some type of authentication. In this case, I'm going to implement a header type authentication. I kind of have here one example, but I'm going to test that for you. So basically, this I'm going to put a Romivas API, which is mean this is a credential for API to call it. You can, for example, call client secret key. Okay, this is the variable. Okay, and then whatever you're going to put it here, it's going to be private. In this case, just for test, I'm going to show you how to do that. So authorization, okay, it's going to be a header authorization. Okay. So I'm going to put just the key, which is this one, the value. I'm going to generate one value here, and then I'm going to copy. It's very important you make sure this value doesn't have any special character. Okay, it has to be just plain value, test. Okay, sometimes it has new line, everything. Look, it now looks good. And then I can click save. And one thing that you can see here is that your curl, okay, you can see that it's past the header, this is the variable name, and this is the information that I'm saying, everything. So now, since I can just say this, okay, click save. I want to show you now, if I execute this, it's gonna reject this request. Authorization, that is wrong, okay? So now it's my endpoint is protect. Now everyone can just come here and call. Okay, so I can stop, and then I can go to the header to fix this. Now I'm gonna go here, okay, and then I'm gonna copy this. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna copy this header, which exactly I'm saying, and then let's see, delete, and then paste, save it, okay. So now I'm gonna listen to it again, and then I'm gonna send a request again. Now it worked because I'm using the right header authentication. So two things very important. We create a webhook endpoint that we can expose to our application, and then we create authentication type that our application has to follow in order to communicate with this webhook. Okay, so now we're gonna work in the next step. When we receive this request, we have to be able to understand which action we need to implement. And then based on this action, we're going to execute the right automation. Okay, let's work on the next step.